You are listening to the Casting Shadows podcast. Expect role-playing games and not much else. Today is Friday, August 20th, 2021, and for RPG Day 2021, believe it or not, things seem to be accelerating toward the end. There are just 11 days of prompts left after today. At this time last week, as we were all cuddled up in the loving embrace of Friday the 13th, the number of days remaining was perhaps a little daunting. We weren't even at the halfway point yet. How time flies when you're having fun. Of the 4 prompts to select from today, I rolled a d24. Yes, there are d24s. I rolled a d24 to determine how I would approach today's response. I decided that on a 1 to 8, I would roll randomly, using a d8, dividing by 2, to pick between foundation, peace, lineage, and ally. On a 9 to 16, I would select the main prompt, foundation. And on a 17 to 24, I would select from the 3 alternates, peace, lineage, or ally. That later selection, the 17 to 24, that one I made riskier and more interesting by electing to select the prompt I felt least able to write about. The roll turned out to be a 20, so that tantalizing bit of risk took on solid reality, but it hinted at the possibility of reward if I could turn the challenge into something that I felt was worth sharing today. If I'd chosen the easy one for today instead of the hard one, it would have been lineage. And my response would have focused on D100 games and how that lineage of games and titles, how they've all seemed to have been a really good fit for me. Today we aren't going the easy way. So I have chosen ally, and I've made my peace with it as a prompt. It may sound strange to say, but I think a great deal about gaming revolves around, can be broken down into acceptance and action. As gamers, there are many things that we have the opportunity to learn, to understand, to incorporate into our sessions and groups, to collaborate using, and ultimately to accept for what they are. This goes for the people we play with and the people who are also gamers too. We could, if we chose, try to force things to be what they aren't, but I don't find much sense or satisfaction in that particular approach. I may end up accepting, sadly, that certain games or certain groups are not a good fit for me or not a good fit for me right now. But if I'm lucky, I may end up discovering that my initial perception that I might not like something or someone was both ill-informed and wrong. If gaming has a gift, it's this, and it is the gift that keeps on giving. Over the years, one aspect of games which go back and forth in argument about either accepting them or changing them is the use of dice. Other forms of convenient uncertainty get more slack, more acceptance, if you will. But the dice? On one side, we can hear folks proclaiming that if the dice get in the way of the story, then they should be cast aside and their numbers left unread. On another side, we can hear folks proclaim that the dice are there to be rolled. They are there to be random. And that's all there is to it. On yet another side, we can hear folks proclaim that it makes the most sense to learn how the game works and how it uses dice or other randomizers, and then play accordingly. Go figure. If the dice are the enemy of some, that is a shame, for I have found them to be a powerful ally. One of the recurring jokes around our virtual table these days is that the dice know. Know what, you ask? Well, they know what is going on, and they deliver interesting results. Of course, it's patently ridiculous because they're just bits of inanimate and insensate material. But like holiday gift-giving, it's the thought that counts. The dice don't really know, but they can certainly feel like the dice know. And they deliver the perfect number at the perfect time. How could the dice be allies for us and be in tune with our satisfaction and delivering the best gifts time after time? And also not be so for others. Believe it or not, this is another link to the holy trinity of game preparation and play advice. This time, it connects firmly to play the right game. What makes the right game the right game? Well, beyond the surface stuff like its genre, its character options, the game's ability to directly support what it is ostensibly about, and player buy-in, there's the willingness of players to buy into more than just those surface aspects and really learn how to play it. They might play it, or they might really play it. They might accept it for what it is and run with it. Learning how to play a game has its surface level and its deeper levels. And perhaps most of us who play a lot of games spend a lot of our gaming time on that introductory level. We don't give ourselves enough time to go deeper. But I know a good number of those who stick to a few or just one game, who choose or wind up on that surface level too. A game might be built like Powered by the Apocalypse game, using 2d6, add them together with modifiers versus a target number. But knowing that you're going to be rolling 2d6 and adding or subtracting something from the result is different from knowing when and why to roll and how to frame that roll in context of its instigating moment of play and how to integrate the result into that moment and the moments which follow, and in and among the contributions of the other players. That, in and of itself, is very different and very far removed from knowing when is the right time not to roll. Most important of all of this deeper knowing is knowing which group of dice and which format for rolling them is going to be a good fit for this group, for this game, this time. Right? Which dice will be the right dice for this group that will be invoking them. It does no good to say we love the way a dice mechanism works, but then never let it work as designed. And it does no good to pretend to use it while just doing something else. The dice, remember, being inanimate and insensate, rely on you to give them a chance to participate in the game. If you use them right, or use them wrong, or fail to use them at all, or fake using them and lying about the results, it's not their fault. That's all on you. When the dice are your ally, they work for your entertainment. That is true as far as it goes, but an alliance is not a one-way relationship unless you're some self-serving sycophant who conflates power and control for worth. When the dice are your ally, You do not overwork them or underwork them. You do not invoke them for the wrong reasons, and you do not ignore them when what they have to tell you is inconvenient. They are your ally. Both of you take care of the other. They do their part, and you do yours, and your collaboration is greater than the sum of your separate parts. Interestingly, there are many aspects of gaming, people most of all, who are our allies in this hobby we all love. And each of these groups have different perspectives and interests, different levels of experience, and different capabilities and requirements. There are as many types of group as there are dice and ways to use them. Like the dice, there are combinations and permutations which will not gel in the best possible ways with us all of the time. And like the dice, that doesn't mean we reject them or that we must embrace what is popular at the expense of what is fun. Imagine a world of allies where people championed and assisted you in your pursuit of fun, and you did the same for them. Imagine an alliance of the willing, where a game was described for what it is, not what it isn't, where the people who respond to it are described as its fans, and where being a fan of that game does not mean attacking another game. It's really not that hard to imagine it. We're gamers. We're in the business of imagination. We know about accepting things which seem impossible, fantastic, magical, or of a bygone age. We know, like the dice, how to be an ally. Tomorrow, Saturday, the 21st of August, and not coincidentally the 21st day of RPG A Day 2021, we have the prompt Simplicity. If that doesn't do it for you, we have Challenge, Fear, and Motive. Again, these words each having their tangled and clear threads and roots chasing backward and forward in prompts past and yet to come, all sort of given shape by the end prompts on Sunday. So, Simplicity, Challenge, Fear, and Motive are your opportunities to talk about your love for our hobby in RPG A Day 2021 tomorrow. I have my ideas, and I'll be happy to record them tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to hearing or seeing or reading yours, too. Remember to tag them. RPG A Day 2021. You've been listening to the Casting Shadows podcast, and thank you for taking the time. Through the month of August, each episode, each day, is a response to the RPG A Day initiative, a marathon that takes us through one prompt a day for each of the 31 days of August, with the intention of speaking positively and encouragingly about this hobby, which we must love because we keep doing it. RPG A Day 2021 is the 8th year of this event, and it's my 6th year as one of the organizers. So I do hope that you are enjoying it. I do hope that you're finding other posts out there that interest you, and that you let the people who made those posts know that you listened and you enjoyed what they contributed. Until tomorrow, take care.